Alright, what's up Dreamer Tribe, what's up world? I am Bianca and welcome to a brand new vlog for my channel, which, it has been a while since the last time I posted this video, for an entry to my vlog playlist. But yeah, I decided to make this video because I want to share with you guys a brand new hobby that I've gotten myself interested in and gotten myself into. So before anything else, let's roll the intro. So yeah, people who know me would know that I have tons of hobbies, like from collecting Funko Pops of, series or video games or titles that I am a fan of, to writing and reading books, to making video games, painting and drawing, and a bunch of other stuff that, I really like to do. Hell, making videos like this, it's a hobby of mine, also a passion, which is similar to how it is with reading and writing stories, as well as, playing video games. That's what this channel basically is all about. But yeah, recently I found myself falling in love with another hobby that, I didn't really learn about it recently, but it is something that I've been meaning to try for a very long time, but because of time constraints and because I didn't know where to begin, honestly. But since resigning from my day job, which I did so recently, I found a lot of time to actually do the things that I would like to do and learn new things that I would like to learn and try new things that I've never done before. And this new hobby is, included in that list. And I understand that a lot of people are learning to do new things, trying new stuff because of the quarantine or lockdowns that, the whole world is experiencing, or parts of the world are experiencing thanks to COVID-19. I wasn't privy to a quarantine or a lockdown, at least not in that long span of time that most people seem to have experienced, again, because of my work. But again, since I've resigned, I quit my day job, I've had a lot of time, and that basically opened up the door for me to try and learn this new hobby of mine. So what is this new hobby of mine? Basically, it's sculpting using air dry clay, which is again something that I've been meaning to try out and meaning to do for a long time. It's only recently that I got the materials I need, including air dry clay, and prior to that I thought that this is going to be a hobby that is very much costly because of how air dry clay is priced. Like the real good ones, they're not cheap. But again, I found a shop online that sold cheap air dry clay, but the quality is really nice, and it's a good clay to use, for a beginner, as a beginner, again, because it's cheap and it's malleable enough to do the things that you would like to do, or create the things that you would like to create. Now, having said that, when my first batch of clay ran out, because, the clay that I bought, they came in this really small packaging, again, because it's for beginners. You're meant to only learn and try making stuff from those clays, so they gave you just a little amount of it to get you started. So when that ran out, I decided to try buying from a different store and see what's the difference, because the first one I bought, basically a 25 grams worth of clay from them, cost around 30 pesos, I think. And then on this other shop, the second one that I found, it just cost around 20 or 25. It's a little bit cheaper on the second store, so I decided to go ahead and try purchasing from that, and I think that is the biggest mistake I've ever made. Like, I had the biggest buyer's remorse from buying from that store because of how bad the clay was. Now I understand that the clay that both of these stores are selling, they are actually homemade clay, which is why, you know, they are cheaper than, you know, those high-end air dry clays that you can buy. And I honestly know how to make homemade clay. I just, you know, don't want to ruin whatever utensils we have here at home, and also because I was missing a couple of ingredients and I didn't want to go outside to buy those ingredients because, again, I'm actually fearful of going outside thanks to COVID-19. But yeah, so I know how to make air dry clay or porcelain clay. So I know that these two were made using the same procedure as you would making them homemade. So yeah, I knew that. And I really didn't mind. But again, the second batch of clay that I got from a different store, I did not like it, and that is the reason why the work that I did, or the things that I made using those clay, they were not that good. I wasn't happy with it. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the difference in sizes between those two clays. Alright, so I have here these two containers. Now, the first batch of clay that I got is it's only this big. Like, this is a container for that clay, and this is like the only clay left of my orange colored ones from that store. And the second one, it's a lot bigger. I'm trying not to show the front cover of the container because it has the name of the store and I don't want to shame them, even though I really am disappointed with the clay that I got from them. But yeah, it's a lot bigger, and I also have orange clay. But yeah, the difference is that this one, you know, the first batch of clay that I got, they're easier to work with because what texture you would like the clay to have, it will have. It's so easy to form shapes with them that when you try to dry the clay, it won't end up misshapen, you know. But the second clay that I got, it's more like if you're trying to form a shape from a PVC glue that's almost drying, you know, like if you place a PVC glue in a small container and, you know, just try to play with it while it's drying, it's sort of like that. So it's very hard to work with, but I did end up making a couple of stuff from that clay because, again, I have a lot more of those stuff left compared to the good kind of clay. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a couple of things that I've been doing, or I did for the past few days, which basically ate up a lot of my time and kept me from playing a couple of games that I've got, you know, as a review code for, and you know, I basically wasn't able to play games for like 2 days because I was so into creating this stuff. Alright, so first of all, I apologize with how messy this background is, but this is basically the mat that I use whenever I make like Gundam models or basically any kind of plastic model. And also this is where I work when it comes to making you know, stuff with air dry clay. But yeah, the first thing I want to show you guys is the first sculpture that I made using, you know, the clay, the beginner's clay that I bought from the first shop that I was talking about. You know, the clay that's actually pretty good to work with. So here it is. This is the first sculpture that I made. I feel like it's pretty good, you know, for a beginner. I didn't really have any tutorials to follow. This is basically just, you know, a trial run for myself, and it's basically I wanted to make something from Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, and I decided to go with the cow and, you know, the little chick at the top, sort of like what was I was picturing, you know, what the icon for the game would be like if the game was released for the 3DS. So if those for those of you who don't know, the 3DS has this sort of 3D rotating icon for the games for that handheld. So I decided to make the cow and the chick. I also thought about making you know, Naomi from that game and putting her somewhere, making basically a diorama for the game. But when I tried making Naomi for the first time, it ended up looking like this. So this is also made with the same kind of, you know, the same clay that I got, the beginner's clay, I would like to think it's called. But yeah, this is how that trial ended up. I feel like it's not really that good, but again, for someone who has never done anything like this before, I think I made a pretty good job, a pretty decent job. It looks cute, at least, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I didn't have anything to go on. I didn't know which tutorials basically to try and follow, because the ones from other channels that I've seen, those are pretty good, and I feel like I'm not in that level yet to try and follow those tutorials. And also, I ended up well, Naomi ended up, you know, I was planning on giving her a fishing rod, really. That's why she looks as though she's sitting, but then I decided against it because I didn't feel like it was good enough. But at the same time, I thought that it was, you know, for the skill level that I am currently in. That brings us to my fourth creation, which is something that I really enjoyed doing. It's Padamon from Digimon. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of Digimon. Always has been, always will be, regardless if, you know, the other seasons after Frontier was really bad. But yeah, it's Padamon. I enjoyed making him. He's really cute, and I know there's that little mistake over there when I, you know, joined the ears to his body. But yeah, overall, I feel like this is among my best creations right there. So cute! Yeah, when I made Padamon, I felt really happy because he looks just like Padamon would. So yeah, I'm really happy about this one, and I think this is the reason why my orange clay, you know, the beginner's clay, the orange one that I have, that I ended up using all of those. And I know the eyes, they're not really pretty good, but you know, for a fourth sculpture, you know, with the skill level that I had, or I have, I think I did pretty well. The fifth one that I actually made, I decided to try my hand at making a keychain. And I asked my sister what my youngest sister, what she would like me to make, and she told me a penguin. So this is what I made, a derpy looking penguin. I really think that this is like one of the cutest things that I made. You know, this is the first keychain that I did using porcelain air dry clay, and you know, I think it looks pretty good, but again, I made a mistake with the wings. Still, for a first try, I think it's really, you know, adorable looking and adorable. Just look at those eyes. It's so derpy. And after making this, I went on ahead and decided to make another one. I wanted to see how well I could do with making a little bit more, shall we say, complex, for lack of a better term, looking keychains. So this is what happened. I was going for a white fox. I don't know if it looks like that, but one thing I do like about this is what I did with the flowers right here. Like that is like so many small circular clays that I had to make and just, you know, put together just to make it look like that. And also I love what I managed to do with the tail here. You know, the texture for the tail. I'm not sure if you guys can actually see it, but you know, I loved how this turned out, even though it really didn't look much like how I envisioned it, because I don't know, the fox looks weird. The white kitsune actually looks pretty weird, but in a cute way as well, I'd like to think. So yeah, this is the second keychain that I made. So I decided after that to why not try making a charm next, because that is one of the things that I've seen people make with porcelain air dry clay. So the first charm that I ended up making is this one. Can you guys guess what this is? Yep, it's the bell bag from Animal Crossing. And I want to believe that I made something that looks similar to it. I don't know, I guess I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But yeah, this is the first charm that I made, and I'm not really sure if the size is, you know, right for a charm, but I'm pretty happy with this, even though it does look, you know, a little bit simple. But yeah, this is the first charm that I made. And then I decided to try making something cuter. It's not really a charm, but you know, I wanted to try to see how well I could do in making like small things. So I'll just, you know, push these aside for a bit. I made this. It's a baby cactus. I'm not sure if you guys can see it clearly, but yeah, it's a baby cactus. I made this using as little clay as I possibly can. I'm gonna try and make pictures of this just in case the video, you know, doesn't do it justice. But yeah, this is like the first miniature, like really mini thing that I made. And the hardest thing to do about this, or to make about this, is the spikes at the head of the cactus, because I was afraid and I didn't know how to effectively put those there. But thankfully it's been a couple of days and none of the spikes have fallen off, so I think I did pretty well in that regard. But yeah, after making this, I decided to make another character related what do you call this? Character related sculpture. I made it using the second batch of clay because I've already run out of clay at this point. So this is really, in my defense, the first time I used that clay, you know, the clay that I didn't really like, which is why this happened. This was supposed to be a Pokemon that I hope you guys can guess who it's supposed to be, but yeah, it didn't turn out good. You know the Derpy Penguin that I made? Now this is like the worst, derpiest thing that I ended up making. I'm really not happy about this. When I was making this, I was so frustrated I just wanted to stop. But again, I've already used up quite a bunch of clay, and I didn't, you know, the clay is not that good, but I didn't want to waste the clay that I've used. Also, when I first was sculpting this, Scorbunny wasn't as fat. The clay just expanded, and now it wouldn't even sit properly. You know, that's how bad the clay is. So yeah, I really don't like this, but I don't want to throw it off because I see this as a reminder of, you know, how badly a sculpture could go, and also because, again, he looks funny looking enough and stupid looking enough that I really can't throw it away. It's also something that I made, which, you know, makes it as difficult to throw away. But yeah, this is a reject. This is a reject if that isn't obvious enough. I tried to make another Pokemon, and this one actually turned out a lot better than, you know, my first foray in sculpting Pokemon, and it's, of course, Pikachu. Now, if you guys have been like following some of my videos or watching some of my videos regarding Pokemon, then you would know that I'm not really a fan of Pikachu. I'm more of an Eevee person, which is why when Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee came out, I decided to buy Let's Go Eevee instead of Let's Go Pikachu. But yeah, this is the first Pokemon sculpture that I made that I feel like I did a pretty good job. Like, it's pill-sized, sort of. It's the same size as my mini sculpture, and you know, it's really small. And I really had a hard time making Pikachu because of the eyes and the mouth and, you know, the little, basically the little accents to her, his face, its face. It's a male Pikachu, according to the tale. So yeah, I enjoyed making this Pikachu, and I basically just sort of follow the same kind of quote-unquote techniques that I employed when I was making my first keychain, because basically they are the same shape. Only one is a Pokemon and one is a cute Derpy Penguin. But yeah, I found myself having fun with the clay, even as it's really, really difficult, again, to keep the form of the clay. If you guys notice, there are certain mistakes in this clay that I like to think that I didn't personally make, but it's because of the clay. Because even when I was drying the clay, using the drying rack for the clay, which came with the beginner's clay that I had, the cheaper clay, you know, the second batch of clay that I had and I had made use of, still wouldn't keep its form. So it was pretty frustrating, you know, to watch how the shape slowly changed as I was drying it, and I couldn't do anything. I didn't know what to do to fix that, which is why, you know, some of the edges of Pikachu that's supposed to be round, it sort of flattens, like here on top of his head. But yeah, after I made Pikachu, I decided to... I actually had a couple of white clay from that same bad bunch of clay that I had, so I didn't want to let those go to waste. So I decided to, why not make something out of that, and this is what I've made. It's supposed to be a marshmallow with orange syrup on top and a little bit of whipped cream and a strawberry. I'm not sure if that's how it looks like to you guys, but that was supposed to be the intent of this sculpture, and I personally think that this is one of the cutest that I've actually made. And also I love how I managed to do make that little whipped cream and the strawberry on top. After that, I decided to make another video game related character, and this one, actually, I wanted to make this a whole body sculpture, but I feel like I didn't have enough experience to pull it off as, you know, as awesome as I could, or as best that I could. And with how this one turned out, I didn't want to sort of push my luck and end up making something worse than what I got. And well, this is it. So I'm letting you guys guess who this is and where it's from, but yeah. Have you guys guessed it? No? It's Ruby from Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, this is the first Animal Crossing related character that I did. I actually wanted to make this a keychain, which is why, if you guys could notice, there's a little bit of hole on the top of her head, but I sort of forgot to add the earring. So yeah, she ended up like that, and I'm really happy about this one because I feel like, apart from Padamon, this one really turned out the way I wanted it to. And after Ruby, I decided to make another Animal Crossing character. It's Sherb! Sherb and Ruby are my favorite. They're villagers in my island, and Sherb looks a little derpy, and I'm really annoyed with how Sherb actually turned out because, again, I let it dry overnight and the clay decided that it wasn't going to stick to the shape it was supposed to, you know, the shape I sculpted it into. So Sherb ended up like that. But I'd like to think still that, you know, he looks like Sherb. I don't know, what do you guys think? But yeah, these are the two Animal Crossing sculptures that I did. I am still planning on doing a lot more. I want actually to sculpt all of the Animal Crossing villagers if I could. Who knows? Maybe I'll learn a lot of things from sculpting a handful of them. But yeah, that's that. Now, the next few sculptures I did, I didn't really have an idea on what I wanted to do. Again, these are things that I made because I simply would just like to play with the clay, to play with the porcelain air dry clay. But yeah, anyway, this is the first one. It's a cat with berries on top. That's it. I have nothing else to say about this cat other than that. I made this without realizing that it was what I was making, which is really funny. And also this one. It's a cute little rice ball keychain. Again, it's cute. That's it. It's a rice ball keychain. I was planning on making, you know, Mochi from Monster Rancher, and it turned out like this instead because that's what my mind wanted to make and what my hands ended up making. I have no complaints though because, again, it looks cute. There are 4 things left. The first one I did because I wanted to do something that I think my other sister would like, and that's making Hello Kitty. I hope it looks like Hello Kitty with a mug of tea. Again, this was created using that second batch of clay, which is why the shape is kind of weird. It's kind of drooping or dropping, and also why the ribbon ended up looking that way and why her ears are suddenly down there, because the clay decided that it couldn't hold itself together, so it ended up looking like that. But I still think it's cute. Also, this little spot here, the dark spot, is because of the pin that I ended up using just to make sure that the head stayed on Hello Kitty's body. But I ended up pushing it too much, and I couldn't really do anything to fix that without crushing Hello Kitty's head. So yeah, I think I'll redo this at some point. But yeah, the next one I did actually was just something I decided on a whim to do because I thought that it would look cute, and I'm all about cute when making these stuff. It's a pig. It's a cute little round piggy. Yeah, that's it. That's basically it. I didn't really have the mind to make this into a keychain because it's really big and I feel like it goes well with just, you know, a little cute figurine right there. This is like the easiest sculpture that I did, by the way, and I want to try making more cute pig stuff because, again, pigs like these are cute. So yeah, after that, because I decided that, you know, the easiest things to make are from round like characters, I decided to make Kirby. I don't know, does it look like Kirby? I feel like it does. Again, I really am not happy with how the limbs turned out, but overall I think it's, again, one of the cutest things that I've made, even though there are some mistakes. But again, making these, for instance, the eyes, that's one of the things that I had a lot of trouble with, but as I'm starting to comprehend how to like make these things as effectively as possible, I'm learning more and more, and making Kirby's eyes taught me an easier way to make the eyes. You know, this whole sculpting thing, it's really therapeutic for me. Second to the last is another what do you call this? Another charm. It's a bread. It's a cute little bread charm. I just wanted to give, you know, this a try because, again, I was so frustrated with how the clay, the second batch of clay that I had, just wouldn't stay in the shape that I wanted it to. So I tried to see if it would retain its shape if I made something like this, and thankfully it looks like a bread, even though it sort of did end up being misshapen a little bit for who knows what reason. But yeah, I think this is also the time when I've started to really get a hang on making those lips because those are made of clay as well, and those are like all the other small details, they are the hardest to make, and I feel like I was getting the hang of it, you know, the more I made these things. But yeah, the last thing that I made is, of course, as I've said, another follow guy. This one, it's wearing the chicken suit that you can get from leveling up in Fall Guy. I actually feel like it's not that good, but again, I'm still learning, and also I think that I did pretty well. The reason why I don't think that it's all that good is because I missed a couple of stuff. I forgot to add a couple of stuff, and also because of the color. The eyes are they're supposed to be darker. But yeah, I learned a lot more as I was making this guy right here. And again, I'm just a beginner. I'm just starting to get the hang of making these things. So there you guys have it. Just some of my creations, you know, that I've made. I'm still making quite a lot more, and even more so now because I finally got the clay that I've ordered, you know, from the first shop, the one that actually sold a much better homemade clay than the other shop that I ended up buying from. Yeah, these are just some, hold on a second, of the clay that I bought. I actually bought a lot because I wanted to make more and more of them. Again, I find making these therapeutic. I'm having a hard time putting it all back to where I took them. But yeah, I'm just a beginner. So yeah, there's no sort of clip as to show you guys how I made all of those things. I'm thinking of making like one of those things when I'm really good and I'm feeling pretty confident when it comes to this new hobby. of mine. But again, this is just so much fun to do and to make, and I wanted to share that with you guys. But anyways, I think this video has gone longer than I thought it would. So yeah, that's a new hobby that I got for myself and I learned for myself. What about you guys? What new hobbies have you gotten yourselves into since the beginning of this whole quarantine lockdown that COVID-19 brought? Did you guys learn any new skills? Did you learn any new things? Did you get yourselves into things that you never thought that you would find yourself enjoying? I'm really curious, so please share those in the comment section below, and also share if you're interested in watching a video of me making something using air dry porcelain clay, and what would you guys want me to make rather. Just do so in the comment section below. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. But anyways, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Work hard, pray harder, dream on, lie on. Bye bye now. See you all soon. Keep safe, everyone. Stay at home. Alright, first off, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. If you like the content of today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up to let me know, and share this video to your friends, your family, and everyone you think would enjoy it. And if you haven't, please click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and become part of the Dreamer Tribe. And if you've already subscribed and you want to get notified whenever new videos come out, then just click on that bell icon and you'll get notifications whenever new videos are posted here on this channel. And that's about it. Again, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, lie on. Bye bye now.